4 decades ago, China had no private car ownership. In a country without private cars, pigeon bicycles were nevertheless used for work commutes. Although the country had little vehicle manufacturing, it today has the largest auto market worldwide. Major beneficiaries of this spectacular rise included foreign automakers, including American ones who made tons of money. However, the good times have ended and a future in the country is at risk. Detroit faces pressure in China and may easily lose globally for the same reasons. To get access to a growing market of over 1 billion people, global automakers adhered to tight trade laws and taught novice Chinese partners car-making skills. Long-term, it was worthwhile. Foreign enterprises were once prestigious and popular, but Chinese firms have quickly caught up, pushing them out. The new market differs from the state-owned industry, as expected. Many prominent companies are private. There are fewer limits. It is quite competitive. Automakers can launch new models faster and at lower prices than in other regions. Chinese consumers increasingly favor Chinese brands, with CEOs maintaining direct customer contacts. After being dethroned, it's unlikely to restore market power. Some argue that international enterprises, particularly American ones, should redouble their efforts under challenging circumstances. How will you handle China's presence in your neighborhood if you don't compete? Know how to compete with them. You didn't try. Chapter 1. Massive Market. China's automobile sector began in the early 1980s. Two Chinese automakers developed collaborative ventures with American and German firms. The industry was little. The first vehicle, the Volkswagen Santana, sold 7,500 units and dominated the market. Only government agencies and similar entities purchased vehicles. Car concept, family or private? It wasn't. Nobody was allowed to buy cars. However, reforms in the 80s and 90s paved the way for the modern auto market. In 1994, China's highest planning committee established the 1994 Auto Policy, a policy for the automotive industry. This law permitted foreign automakers to hold up to 50% of the market. A joint venture with any Chinese automaker. Foreign enterprises were limited to 2 joint ventures per vehicle type. Later regulations favored foreign automakers that could produce automobiles with global quality requirements using locally produced parts. In 1997, General Motors, the world's largest carmaker, partnered with Shanghai Automotive Industry Corporation to enter China. Auto sales increased as China's economy liberalized and developed. In the 1990s, demand tripled, and China's WTO discussions in 2001 provided security and stability for foreign automakers, leading to China's rapid growth. Tenfold sales growth in less than 10 years made China the world's largest car market that year. Chapter 2. Rise Fall. GM was formerly the symbol of a strong US-China friendship. According to the CEO of GM China, the company is making more money than God in China. Everything's amazing. Our Buicks are popular in China. Cadillac is coming soon, while GM, Ford, and Jeep were expected to have a long-term presence in China. That didn't go well. Examining the market share of international automakers in China reveals dramatic changes. China has seen a continuous decline in GM sales since 2017. In 2023, sales dipped to 2.1 million, below US levels for the first time since 2009. In 2023, GM's equity income in its second largest market dropped 34% to $446 million. The fourth quarter saw a 54% drop. GM sales have dropped by over 50%, Ford's fell by over 60%, and Jeep went bankrupt in China and had to leave. In the previous 5 or 6 years, we've witnessed just. The conclusion was disastrous for the Detroit 3. Very abrupt. Extremely sudden. I believe this indicates the maturity of Chinese competitors. Chapter 3. How it happened. It happened like this. First, Chinese cars improved greatly. Chinese enterprises began exporting as soon as Korean firms did 30 years ago, but lacked the necessary quality. They performed poorly in accident tests, notably in Europe. The internet was flooded with images of Chinese cars crumpling like tinfoil. 5 to 10 years later, their crash test results are impressive, but they are not mentioned. Lots of that. The improvement was due to Chinese automakers learning from foreign partners. Joint ventures were created to help Chang'an and Shanghai catch up to their partners and competitors. However, former Chrysler executive Bill Russo, who now operates a consultancy firm in Shanghai, has a different perspective. Chinese and non-Chinese investors' cross-border investments, more than joint ventures, contributed to global brand competitiveness. In 2005, Nanjing Automobile Group acquired the British brand MG and began producing automobiles in 2007. In 2010, Geely acquired Volvo from Ford for $1.8 billion and started the Polestar performance line as an independent EV brand. Lotus was also acquired by Geely. American billionaire Warren Buffett acquired a stake in BYD in 2017, but has since reduced it. Many top brands are privately owned and did not originate from collaborative ventures. Naturally, government support was vital. The country recognized the necessity for an edge over incumbents. The company invested 200 billion yen, about 27 billion American dollars in EVs. Between 2018 and 2022, BYD received nearly $3.6 billion in direct subsidies, with the majority in the penultimate year. This was partly to address China's serious air quality issues. Cities like Beijing have some of the worst air pollution in the world due to decades of industrial expansion. Economic factors also influenced the choice. The Chinese believed it was challenging to compete with Western and Japanese enterprises using internal combustion engines due to the difficulty of catching up. To advance, they chose to switch to electric automobiles. This was an area where no one was adept. During the 2008 financial crisis, the Chinese government invested $586 billion in transportation, including high-speed railways, airports, and highways. In the next year, tax cuts for smaller cars and incentives for rural vehicle sales were implemented. A new policy established 8 goals for the following 2 years: increase car production and sales, and invest in research on EVs, plug-ins, hybrids, and fuel cell vehicles. These investments have given China a significant advantage. Many of the suppliers, including essential supplies, are local. Chinese enterprises are the global leaders in battery development and production. In the US, subsidies, cheap labor, and poor environmental standards are often blamed for this issue, which has been a factor in the past. However, this underestimates the technical capacity-based superiority of China. Strengths go beyond motors and batteries. Chinese companies excel in software and entertainment systems due to their success in the mobile phone and electronics industries. Volkswagen sought assistance from China to address software issues in their EVs. There is a crucial aspect of the story that is often overlooked. New tech companies include Li Auto, Xpeng, NIO, Xiaomi, Huawei, Baidu, Tencent, and Alibaba. Similar to Tesla, they're new. History doesn't burden them. They have a rapid development rate and few existing factories to convert. These companies see cars as a technology platform for distributing services and collecting income, rather than a one-time purchase. In China, the idea of cars as mobile computers is already common. Younger Chinese buyers favor digitally connected items from Chinese enterprises. Americans and Europeans are often accused of producing cars with inferior software, outdated chips, and a lack of innovation. Chapter 4. High output. Non-Chinese may perceive the Chinese economy as centralized, with the central government controlling big state-owned firms. Partly, but there's much nuance. 3 major Chinese automakers are controlled by Beijing's central government, while most are owned by provincial or municipal governments. Some are private. Although not entirely aligned with market principles, the number of producers and models makes it the most competitive market globally. They may surprise many, especially after this year's massacre. Right. Underpricing pressure and economic headwinds rush vehicles to the market at cheaper prices, sacrificing profitability for volume. Ford automakers must balance market share and profitability. The price battle initiated by Tesla in 2023 is the slaughter Li Xing refers to. Years of fierce competition in China have expedited car development compared to other regions. Companies typically upgrade vehicles every 2 to 3 years and make big generational changes every 5 or 6 years. In China, a refresh can occur within 12 months and be sold at a cheaper price than the previous model. Ford automakers struggle to keep up due to their legacy. Elon Musk is not the only CEO engaging with customers on social media. CEOs in China use networks like Weibo and TikTok. They'd also collect client feedback via car maintenance apps. It creates tight feedback loops. Michael Dunn, a longtime car industry researcher in China and its neighbors, attributes responsibility to politics. A look back at 2017. In that year, GM and South Korea reached a deal to deliver crucial anti-missile defense facilities. China disliked that. Since then, sales and market share of Detroit 3 and Korean automakers have plummeted. It was not announced that the group was in jeopardy. Market pressure will push you out. However, 2017 marked a turning point as the Detroit 3's significance to China began to diminish. The Chinese government has scaled back or eliminated several of its previously implemented laws, such as joint venture requirements. The Chinese learned. They gained strength. So no more production is needed. Just let folks compete. Open the market. Chapter 5. Next steps. Over the next 5 years, Ford, GM, Hyundai, Kia, and Nissan are expected to leave China. Automakers like Volkswagen, the first foreign corporation in the country, are undertaking retrenchments to stay competitive. They collaborate with local enterprises to accelerate decision-making and implementation. Tesla may have a better situation than its Detroit rivals for now. It was the first foreign automaker to establish operations in China without a joint venture, thanks to trade policy liberalization. China manufactures almost 1 in 2 Teslas sold worldwide, but even leaders confront challenges. Over 27 years of living and working in China, I've observed a persistent pattern. That's China. Invitees to top organizations rapidly discover their secret strengths, then slowly and deliberately leads them to the exit. Tesla will eventually suffer this. You can trust it. Russo, a former Chrysler executive, urges U.S. manufacturers to invest in local design, development, and production rather than leaving the nation. I worry that foreign automakers are delaying EV investment due to a lack of American adoption. Foreign enterprises can still compete and possibly win in the market, according to him. Keep playing for 3 to 5 years. Never quit, right? Invest in introducing and maybe building products in China. If the US scale is lacking, consider competing with China as they expand globally. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to stay updated with our latest content. See you in the next video.